Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 16 is entitled as Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the divine and demonic nature. Sloka 6. Dvau bhūta-sargau loke smin, daiva āsura cha, daivo vistaraśaḥ prokta āsuraṁ pārtha śṛṇu. This is an introduction sloka for what's coming up next, which is elaborating the āsuric nature. Let's understand the meaning of the sloka. Pārtha, O son of Pṛthā, asmin loke, in this mundane world, bhūta-sargau, the creation of beings, daiva, godly, divine, āsura cha, and demoniac, dvau, is twofold. Daiva, the divine creation of beings, vistaraśaḥ, at great length, prokta, has been told, āsuraṁ, the demoniac type, may, from me, śṛṇu, just hear. Translation: O son of Pṛthā, in this world, there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. When Arjuna heard this from Krishna, his eyebrows raised, thinking, when did you speak about the divine ones in length? All you said is only 3 slokas with 26 qualities, that's all. But then you say, vistaraśaḥ, in detail that you have spoken about the divine natured ones. Krishna smilingly asked, who are the divine ones and who are the demoniac ones? Arjuna, who was a good student, understood the key message, said, those who follows the scriptures are the divine ones. Those who doesn't follow the scriptures are demoniac ones. Well, that's the answer. Those who follow the scriptures practices that is given in the scriptures, either karma yoga, jnana yoga or bhakti yoga, which is what I have been speaking throughout our conversation so far. The entire chapters that we have covered so far is all about what is being given in the scriptures. If one is divine, they follow what's been given in the scriptures, which is what I have told you. Therefore, so far, I have spoken to you all about the divine natured one and what they follow in length. Just to refresh you, in the second chapter, 55th sloka, I said, Prajahati yata kaman sarvan pārtha manogatan atmanivatmana tushtah tita prajna tatochyate. When a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. And in the 4th chapter, 25th sloka, daivam eva apare yajñam yoginah pariyupasate brahmagno apare yajñam yajnaiva upajuvati. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. In the 7th chapter, 16th sloka, chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritorjana artha jignashu artharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. 4 kinds of pious people begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. In 9th chapter, 13th sloka, mahatmanastu mam pārtha daivim prakritim āsritaah bhajantyānanya manasah jñātva bhūtādim avyayam. Those who are not deluded, the great souls or under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. This is just to quote few, Arjuna, but what I have not spoken so far is about the demoniac ones, their mentality, their activities, their understanding, etc. It is important to know this as well, not just the divine ones. By knowing this, one can properly differentiate and discriminate between the divine and demoniac qualities. Therefore, with that understanding, one can cultivate further divine qualities and get rid of any of those demoniac qualities. Therefore, you must understand, Arjuna, in this world, smin loke, and there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine, the other is demoniac. When Krishna says asmin loke, this world, it is not just the earthly planet that we live in. It includes all other planetary systems because karma applies everywhere within this prakriti. If we just interpret it as this earthly world, then it implies that both divine and demoniac kinds of beings are all just present in this planet Earth, nowhere else. But we must know both of these kinds of beings are also present in other planetary systems. It is due to one's previous karma one gets birth either to follow or not to follow the Lord's injunction in the form of the scripture. Then this may raise a question, if that is the case, that whether a person is āsuric or daivic, defined at the time of their birth, then Bhakta Prahlad was born in the family of āsura, but his nature did not match with the āsura guna. He was fully in Krishna consciousness. Likewise, Vibhishana was born as a Rakshasa, but his behavior were not as per his birth. He was completely surrendered to Lord Sri Ramachandra. How do we then understand what has been just said, that during birth it is defined whether a person will be āsuric or daivic, demoniac or divine? Let's understand that Krishna is not speaking about the jati, the caste in which one takes birth. It is the nature that one obtains at the time of birth is what Krishna is speaking here. Not the caste, not the jati. What is defined at the time of birth is whether this soul who is taking birth will follow the scripture or will not follow the scriptures. That is what's being determined at the time of birth. Not just being born in a āsura kula or Rakshasa kula, one becomes āsura or Rakshasa by nature. Not necessary they will all be lawbreakers. Or just because one is born in the daiva family, the devatas, demigods family, not necessary one will be law-abider. Therefore, the caste really doesn't matter. Rather, what matters is whether this person is devoted to Krishna and sincere to the scriptures. Therefore, one must know, just because one is born in the family of āsura or Rakshasa doesn't mean their life ended. Free will is given to them by the Lord to change themselves by accepting and following the scriptures. But still one may ask a question, since a person takes birth in a family of āsura or Rakshasa, won't they be forcibly pushed into wrongdoings, wrong deeds? Well, not always. Say if we sit for eating a very palatable food items, chapanbhog, and just heard that one of the item got mixed with a drop of poison, but not sure which one that is, then immediately we take our hands off from the plate and even throw those items into trash. No one will take a risk of trying one item at a time and see if it has poison or not. Similarly, with the God-given free will, one, though born in āsura or rakshasa family, can change their consciousness towards better life, towards Krishna, if one understands the poisonous material world. It is not just the relationship that matters, but the knowledge of relationship really matters. For example, Kamsa and Shishupala were related to Krishna, but they were demoniac by nature, whereas there are many others who were not directly related to Krishna when he was in this world, but they were so devoted to Krishna. But every one of us are related to Krishna. He is our father, he is our mother, he is our guardian, he is our maintainer, he is everything for us. So just having the relationship with God is not sufficient enough, but having the knowledge of that relationship really matters. Most of the families currently goes through a lot of difficulties because of lack of the knowledge of their relationship. All they know is they are related in some way, that he is my husband, she is my wife, this is my children. So this relationship is well known. But what is lacking is the knowledge of that relationship. Because of lack of this knowledge, there are so many problems within the family. The husband and wife are willing to separate because they don't have the clear knowledge of that relationship. They think it is just a formality which can be broken anytime. But when the couple understands that the whole purpose of them coming together, have the relationship, married relationship, is to serve Krishna, and they are part and parcel of Krishna. The idea of getting married is to follow the dharma of the grahastha ashram, helping each other by developing unalloyed bhakti towards Krishna and ultimately reach Krishna. Because he is our real father, real well-wisher. He is our husband. When the family understands this, when they have this knowledge, then that relationship strengthens. The relationship between Krishna and us grows. The relationship between husband and wife grows. The relationship and love towards the children grows, keeping Krishna as the center. When Krishna is not at the center of the house, it is I who is center of the house, then all kinds of problems starts, to the extreme of not wanting to live together. Therefore, it is important that we know what are the divine qualities and what are the demoniac qualities. Knowing just the divine qualities is not sufficient enough. We must know the demoniac qualities so we can be careful that we don't accumulate that wealth, and we carefully avoid such natured people. With this introduction, Krishna is going to elaborate in following several verses about the conduct of the demoniac beings. Dvau bhūta-sargau loke smin, daiva āsura cha, daivo vistaraśaḥ prokta, āsuraṁ pārtha śṛṇu. Namaste. Hare Krishna.